We did this ATV coffee tour the day after we did the ATV sunset tour in Antigua by the same tour agency, Simoon Rentals and Tours. We could not have asked for a better guide who was so knowledgeable and gave us a full rundown on the coffee making process at the coffee farm Finca La Azotea, which was in a beautiful setting in Jocotenango, a town just north of Antigua. Initially, after visiting the historic coffee farm, we were supposed to go to Cerro de la Cruz, but we had already covered that during the sunset tour the previous day, so Daryl was kind enough to instead take us to a busy plaza in San Pedro Las Huertas where we could see a cool communal washing station where people would gather to wash clothes together and trade gossip, and we also got to understand the process of mining, refining, and designing jade at a nearby family-run jade shop that is 3 generations strong. The pieces were so beautiful, and learning about the jade making process was so informative that we were happy to support them by buying a few pieces from them, and their prices are more than fair and don't overpriced. The shop is named King Brothers Jades Monroe Maya. If you decide to take this, you will not regret your time and money spent, and I would highly recommend asking for Daryl to be your tour guide as he's very kind, informative and speaks English very well. Smile. This was a must-do experience in Antigua. I have never driven an ATV and it was very easy and so fun. Our guide was awesome and was very informative. Stopped at Cerro de la Cruz and then drove through Antigua to Jocotenango to visit Finca La Azotea. Had a great tour learning about how coffee beans are grown, processed, and roasted. Then, we got to try their 3 different roasts. Additionally, we went to their chocolate factory and got a lesson on how cacao beans are processed to make chocolate. Our guide was great and took pictures and videos of us. 10/10 experience and would totally do it again the next time I visit. One of the highlights of our trip. Sergio was such a fun tour guide and took the time to make sure we had a good amount of time riding through the streets and countryside of Antigua, and he was also able to share interesting information about the different places we visited. He made sure we all stayed together and were safe while still having a blast on the ATVs. Cerro de la Cruz was beautiful, and much nicer to ride to the top instead of walk, and the coffee plantation was really interesting for this coffee lover. The family-run chocolate shop, with samples, at the end was an added bonus. Highly recommend. Had a great time doing the ATV coffee tour guide. Our guide was very helpful in teaching us the basics on how to start and drive the ATV while also taking us along a drive that was fun to drive. The coffee tour was great too, as we got to see the entire coffee process from start to finish and also try some local samples. Would highly recommend. So much fun, you get to ride ATVs through the city. Learn about the process behind growing and manufacturing coffee and chocolate. After that, you ride up a mountain and get to see all of Antigua. Absolutely breathtaking. I highly recommend anyone traveling to give this a try. Lester was an amazing guide and very informative. I would highly recommend this tour. They go over the history of coffee farming in Guatemala, how the coffee plantation makes their coffee beans from planting seeds to the choice of soil, etc. Decided the morning of to book this tour, and I'm glad that I did. It was cool riding around on the ATV. Getting up to the lookout without the climb was 10/10. The coffee farm was relaxing and informative. Our guide Edward was very friendly. Great experience, fun adventure, just the ride was great. If on top of that you add that we went to discover new thing and also with great tour guides, Anthony was great, super, spectacular. This made our trip, hands down,